Just Talk Entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do a Godzilla discussion, and this topic is going to be something that's been requested by many of you viewers. I've had quite a number of you come up to me or message me, or I shouldn't say come up to me, but message me or email me asking me about certain monsters or certain kaiju and whether or not they would fit into the Godzilla universe that has been created by Legendary. Now, I decided that after so many different monsters and kaiju being brought up, I figured this video I'm going to just list the monsters that I feel could work in the Legendary universe. And, you know, I think, obviously, we know we got Ghidorah, we got Rodan, we got Mothra, but I do think there are some other kaiju in the universe of Toho that could work in Legendary. So we're going to start, and the first monster I'm going to bring up is Biollante. Now, with that said, I would probably take away her floral form, for lack of a better term. As you all know, for those of you who have watched Godzilla vs. Biollante, you know that early part of the movie, Biollante shows up as basically a giant rose. And I think that's the portion I would probably cut out. Because I think if Legendary did a Biollante and they pulled that out, I think people would literally get up and walk out the theater. Even myself, when I first saw Godzilla vs. Biollante, when I first saw the flower or the rose, I said to myself, what the hell is this? But the end result is what I think could work. Biollante is a very unique looking monster. She doesn't have necessarily, I mean, she's got like legs, but she's like a big mutated plant. She looks like a Venus flytrap. And I think that's a very unique look. I think it could work in the Legendary world. And she's very huge, a lot bigger than Godzilla. And she has some very unique attacks. Obviously, she's got her little floral tentacles, so to speak. And she just looks very menacing and very intimidating. To the point that if Legendary were to maybe not stray too far away from her design, it could probably scare some kids. It's a very, I mean, you know, you open that jaw, there's all those teeth. So I definitely think Biollante could work, but her second form, I would completely cut out the first form. I think that would be a joke to some people who would be watching the movie, so Biollante. The next kaiju I'm going to say is Anguirus, of course. I think Anguirus could easily fit into the Legendary universe. I know many listeners and viewers are very upset that Anguirus did not make the cut, and I can concur with that. I think it's, you know, they obviously picked some good kaiju, but it's, you know, I think maybe Anguirus was considered, but unfortunately he didn't make the cut. But I think had he made the cut, I think it would have been a very, very good thing for Legendary. I think Anguirus kind of flew under their radar, a little underrated. But in terms of working into Legendary, yeah, Anguirus can work perfectly fine. He's got a very nice design. I love that shell with the spikes. I think that's one of obviously his signature. His roar is very signature as well. And it would have been really nice to see how they would have incorporated Anguirus into the Legendary universe. But unfortunately, as of right now, that's not something we're going to see. Hopefully things change in the future and we get that opportunity. Or if we don't, hopefully we can see Anguirus reprise his role in the new Toho Godzilla movie, or maybe one of the Toho Godzilla movies going forward after 2016. So the next monster I want to bring up is Gigan. I think Gigan would definitely work in Legendary. You would have to get a little creative, but you know, you're talking about a robot slash, you're basically talking about a giant cyborg kaiju. And this could definitely fall into the lines of, you know, tampering with, you know, DNA, genetics, or mutations, as well as incorporating technology, you know, like amputations and different kind of arms and legs and parts. And at the same time, you know, because I know a lot of people still argue about the whole Mechagodzilla thing, but, you know, when you think of Gigan, Gigan obviously is not designed after Godzilla, number one. Number two, Gigan is not completely robotic, and I think that he would be a very unique monster to add to the fray. In fact, I'm sure many of you have seen the, if you go to DeviantArt and you look up Muto Gigan, somebody did a very, very beautiful drawing of what Gigan would look like as a Muto, and I think that's probably right up the alley of what Legendary should do if they had gone that route, but unfortunately they haven't. So definitely Gigan, Biollante, Anguirus. Another, there's a couple of other monsters that would work. I mean, Gorosaurus would be okay, but, you know, again, not as popular. I think Manda would have been a very unique kaiju to bring into the fray because, you know, he's like a snake, or some people would say he's a worm, which is a certain form of a dragon before it gets its wings. So Manda is definitely easy to work into that universe. Two other monsters that I want to say that I think could work, and I think a lot of people would be supportive of this, would be Varan. Varan would definitely, I think, be a very unique monster in Legendary's universe. And I don't think they have to stray away too much from Varan. I think you definitely keep the way that he can, extend his arms and kind of glide in the air. He's got a nice, spikes going down his back. He can stand upright. He can go on all fours. So I think Varan is definitely a monster that's easily doable in the Legendary universe. And I also think that Baragon could work. Baragon is another monster, could for a short span of time stand upright. They would definitely have to work on his look a little bit. Baragon he looks like a puppy. Looks like a puppy. He's got like floppy ears, but I like the horn. I think they would have to make him look a little bit more intimidating. Definitely work on that design. But I think Baragon, Varan, Biollante, Gigan, Anguirus, Gorosaurus, if you wanted to argue for Gorosaurus, Manda, I think those monsters could definitely work in the Godzilla universe. Obviously, monsters I think that wouldn't work too well. Obviously, Mechagodzilla, Space Godzilla, I don't think would work too well. Might even confuse some people. The Godzilla kids, unfortunately, I can't roll with that. I couldn't see Aminya or Godzuki or any of that stuff. I just think that would kind of lose the general audience. Now Destroyer, I know some people are going to mention Destroyer. I think you would have to change some things. I think the Oxygen Destroyer, early part of his storyline, that part of his story would have to go. They would have to find another way to develop Destroyer, but again, he's got the kind of look that you can get away with in the Godzilla universe. I just don't think they can go with his story. I don't think you can go with he was born from the Oxygen Destroyer. And then finally, the other, this one not necessarily a kaiju, but I've heard this before and I do agree with this as well. I think when you're talking about giant robots to counter Godzilla, I think Jet Jaguar could definitely work in the Legendary universe. You would certainly have to change him. But I think the key to bringing him in, bringing Jet Jaguar in and not giving him too much of a culture shock would be to keep a lot of the features of his face, but definitely change his body, and then take away the whole change your size up and down. He's a robot, he's built by man, maybe they find a very unique reason to call him Jet Jaguar, or they can just call him Jet Jaeger or something like that. They would have to make some changes, definitely, but if they keep his face, even if they change his name, if they kept his face, I would definitely think that would pay homage to the character. Jet Jaguar, I don't know if that name would work so well, but those are the kaiju, and of course Jet Jaguar, the one robot that I think could work in the Legendary universe if they ever decided to keep it going and want to incorporate more kaiju and other characters. But yeah, that's it. So what do you guys think? Are there any kaiju I did not mention that you would think could work in Legendary, and why do you think they could work in Legendary's universe? This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do a Godzilla discussion, and this topic is going to be something that's been requested by many of you viewers. I've had quite a number of you come up to me or message me, or I shouldn't say come up to me, but message me or email me asking me about certain monsters or certain kaiju and whether or not they would fit into the Godzilla universe that has been created by Legendary. Now, I decided that after so many different monsters and kaiju being brought up, I figured this video I'm going to just list the monsters that I feel could work in the Legendary universe. And, I think, obviously, we know we got Ghidorah, we got Rodan, we got Mothra, but I do think there are some other kaiju in the universe of Toho that could work in Legendary. So we're going to start, and the first monster I'm going to bring up is Biollante. Now, with that said, I would probably take away her floral form, for lack of a better term, as